Good morning, Kidwell Park. Happy Sunday. I'm glad to see you guys. Only one more month of school left. Woohoo! I bet you guys are so excited. Glad you're joining us for a Kidwell lesson of the Commandment 3 today. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the last 2 weeks and see when I taught on the first lesson, and then Mr. Mark had last week on Commandment 2, and now we are already to Commandment 3. Okay, so here's a quick review in case you missed any of that. So God's chosen people, remember they're the Israelites. They needed some clear rules because they were having a tough time. And God wanted to keep them safe and happy and following Him. So He gave them these 10 commandments. And if you remember, there was the analogy of soccer, that rules aren't there to ruin things. Rules are there to make things great. That's why soccer's fun, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's rules, and it gives us a clear goal and a clear direction and keeps us safe. So that's how I want you guys to think of the 10 commandments, that they are 10 rules that God gives us because He loves us. Okay, let's read Deuteronomy 6, 7 through 9 to see about that hint. What are all those things? What do they all have in common? You ready? Get ready. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, what? Deuteronomy. Okay, Deuteronomy 6, 7 through 9. Make your children learn them. He's talking about the commandments. He says, talk about them when you're at home. Talk about them when you walk along the road. Speak about them when you go to bed. And speak about them when you get up. Write them down and tie them on your hands as a reminder. And tie them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your house and write them on your gates. In other words, that's how important these commandments are to God, that He wants them everywhere. So all those things, what they have in common is He wants those commandments written all over those things so that you know them inside and out, so that you know how much He loves you and the kind of life that He wants for you. Okay, so let's do a little review. Commandment 1, put no other gods before God. That we need to make sure that God is the number one thing in our life. Commandment number 2, don't worship any idols. This is what Mr. Mark talked about. Even things you really love, they just can't take the place of God. And now what we're going to talk about today is commandment number 3. Do not misuse the name of God. Don't treat it carelessly. And here are 3 ways today that we can treat it carelessly. Okay, the first one is we can be irreverent. That's kind of a big word. Let's see if you guys can figure out what the word irreverent means by this example. You ready? Okay. You love your mom, right? And she has the name Mom, which means that she's something special, something important to you. It's her name, Mom. You don't call her Mary. You don't call her Melissa. You don't call her Maddie. You call her Mom. So we're going to see 2 examples of how the word mom is used. You try to decide which one would you consider irreverent and which one would you consider reverent. Now here's the definition of reverent. It means to show deep respect. Which one of these shows deep respect?
Thanks a lot, Mom. Thanks a lot, Mom.
Okay, did you figure out which one of those examples showed reverence for their mother or respect? I would say the first one showed respect. The second one, not so much. Have you ever done that? You take a word and just the way that you use it shows a lack of respect. So this commandment is telling us when we use God's name that we need to show respect. That's our first way. Second way is that we can use God's names carelessly or disrespectfully and using His name as a swear word or a bad word. So that's just cut and dry, very clear. We don't use His name in vain. And the third way, and this one was kind of new information to me and I really, really liked it. It's that you want to use His name and then you want to follow through. So here's an example. Have you ever heard somebody say, I swear to God, I'm telling the truth? Your parents asking you a question, a teacher's asking you a question, and you say, I swear to God, I'm telling the truth. Or have you seen a TV show where it's in a courtroom and someone is going to testify in a trial and they put their hand on a Bible and they swear to tell the truth, so help me God. When you use God's name to swear, that you're telling the truth. You can't use it carelessly. You must tell the truth. That we want to honor his name, and we want to show respect by keeping our word. When we swear to something, we must keep that word. We're using his name and we don't want to use it carelessly. And we want to represent God in our actions, and that's so that others will want to know him and know how much he loves us by our actions. So that's the third commandment. We don't want to use God's name carelessly. We don't want to use it disrespectfully. We don't want to use it as a swear word. And when we use his name to tell people that we're telling the truth, we must tell the truth. We need to be honoring. So quick review. First commandment, you've got it. You only worship God. Second commandment, say it with me. Do not worship idols. Third commandment, do not use God's name carelessly. So that's what you can work on this week. That you honor his name by telling the truth, that you speak respectfully when you speak of God, and that you show other people through your actions that you know God and you know his love for you. And it makes other people want to know him too. So I hope that you have a happy Sunday. Continue to remember that those commandments are there because of his love for us. And we want to keep those rules so we stay safe and happy. Have a great Sunday, Kidwell. Bye.
Sunday. We are so excited that you guys are joining us today. We are going to be having some fun learning about the 10 Commandments in the next 10 weeks. We also have a challenge for you kids to learn the 10 Commandments and then post yourself saying them on our Kidwell Park Facebook page. And if you do that, we'll send you a free gift certificate for Schubert's Ice Cream, which is pretty cool, yeah?
Yeah.